Dear viewers, let me welcome you to today's international discussions. Today, we'll be talking with our guests on the topic of climate and environmental crisis and how organizations are dealing with these, if at all. This is a platform where these vital topics that affect every single person on Earth now or in near future can be discussed freely without any censorships. Since all of the activities done on the platform of Creative Society are done by volunteers in free time with own resources all around the world, who have the internal desire to act, since we understand that no one will solve these burning topics for us.
Yes, absolutely agree with you. And indeed, anyone who's watching the news knows that there's basically not a single day passing without a climate disaster or some awful anti-record set. And we know that the heat in India right now is over 50 degrees Celsius. There are massive floods in Brazil, Honduras, South Africa, Indonesia, Bangladesh, and Australia. And this affects lives of hundreds of thousands of people already. Tornadoes in Michigan with speed over 240 kilometers per hour. Storms in Ontario and Quebec, leaving 500,000 homes without electricity. Tornadoes and storms with hail size of tennis balls in Western Europe and Bulgaria, and so much more. So we understand that all of this is happening all over the planet simultaneously. And our inaction caused many people not only suffering, but also lives. And we understand that there are so many organizations that have been sort of dealing with climate change, or at least mentioning that they are fighting the climate change for decades, but obviously without any visible result and definitely without success. So something is wrong over there.
Yeah, and today we'll be discussing all of these issues with our dear guests. And so let me introduce Dražen Kasalo, worker, writer, and lecturer, and Creative Society volunteer from Croatia. Welcome, Dražen.
Hello, Marek. Hello, Tali. Hello, Valerie. Nice to meet you, and hope that we'll get a very constructive conversation tonight.
Thank you very much. And also Valeria Smian, manager of art and also volunteer of Creative Society. Welcome, Valerie.
Yeah, happy to be here with you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's our pleasure to have such a wonderful guest with us today. And let's kick off our discussion with watching a short video clip from the conference, from the International Forum, We Are People, We Want to Live, about the foundations, about the funds, international funds that's supposed to be fighting climate change, but in fact, not doing such a great job at it.
Perhaps you may think it will never happen to you. While those people have been given all the help they needed and they are now safe. And indeed, there is now a huge number of organizations and foundations dedicated to helping people. The largest of them, the United Nations, is positioning itself as the guarantor of peace and security of humankind. For decades, we have been hearing beautiful slogans and promises from high rostrums. If you listen to these loud statements, it may seem that we will solve all our problems. There will be no more poverty, no more hunger, no more wars, and we will all live well. After all, there are over 100 international organizations working under the aegis of the United Nations to solve the world's problems. For every new problem, a new organization is created. Every year, UN member states pay huge contributions to these organizations. In fact, this is money from our pockets. These are the taxes we pay to the state. Between 2010 and 2020, according to official data, the 44 UN organizations alone raised $540.4 billion. Contributions to the UN organizations have increased by 58% over 10 years. But let's take a look at what we have achieved over this period of time. The largest amount of money today goes to solving the problem of hunger. The main UN organizations to tackle this problem are the World Food Program, WFP, and the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO. They have raised $79.8 billion over the last 10 years. Current estimates are that almost 690 million people are hungry in the world and 750 million people are severely food insecure. The Food and Agriculture Organization itself predicts an even greater increase in hunger by 2030. 841 million people. So, the World Food Program is projecting funding needs for 2022 already at $13.9 billion. So they say, there will be more hungry people, so they need more money. It is a legitimate question. How is it that, with ever-increasing funding, the problem itself is only becoming worse? Let's look at another problem, the refugee problem. The number of refugees has doubled over the past 10 years, comprising 82.4 million in 2020. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, deals with refugee issues. Over the past 10 years, funding for the organization has increased by 56%, reaching $4.8 billion in 2020. Let's look at what kind of help they provide to people. One area of refugee assistance is shelter. On their website, they state, "The main part of our protection mission is to guarantee access to proper shelter in humanitarian emergencies. We provide tents, distribute plastic sheeting, and develop strategies, tools, and guidance in emergency situations, and provide emergency assistance to those who need it most. On cold nights or hot days, our help can be the deciding factor between life and death. In an emergency, tarpaulin tents are an adequate short-term measure. But people live in such tent camps for years in inhumane conditions with no hope of the future. Due to the lack of even basic sanitation conditions, people die of infectious diseases. Who benefits from the problem not being solved? As long as there is a problem, there is funding. And if the problem is solved, there will be no funding and therefore no organizations. As long as there is a financial interest, as long as someone makes money from it, no one will solve the problem. The UN itself is very much like a transnational corporation in its structure. There is a parent company that coordinates and manages the activities of its other companies, but each brand is a separate business entity. In 2020, more than $3.7 billion was spent to maintain the UN bureaucracy on staff and director salaries, health insurance, holidays, business class flights, and other expenses. The planned expenditures for the renovation of the Palace of Nations alone in Switzerland, where the UN headquarters is located, is $871 million. With this money, 174,000 houses could be built using 3D printing technology. How many refugee families could benefit from this housing? But alas, building homes for those in need is not a priority for their aid. What do we have in the end? Numerous organizations that we have entrusted with the responsibility of solving serious problems of humanity turn out, on closer examination, to be merely business structures. it becomes obvious that there is a direct interest in the growth and aggravation of problems. In other words, it is beneficial for someone that people starve, struggle to survive, and make wars with each other. And that is the cynicism of the consumerist format of society. Creating the illusion of solving a problem without the real goal of eradicating it is a principle of the consumerist format. Under such conditions, it is tantamount to anesthesia for a fatal illness. And even closing or reforming some organizations or firing some individuals will not save the situation, because new ones will come in their place and do the same thing, making money off our lives. Today, because of our tacit support for the consumerist format, we are all on the precipice. The rapid escalation of all crises will soon bring us all, without exception, to the brink of disaster. What kind of help will we get? A piece of tarpaulin for shelter and a couple of bottles of water?
Yes, the key phrase, as long as there is a problem, there is funding. This is the sad truth of consumer format of society. I would like to ask Valerie. We know that you have been participating in preparations of the international discussions. You have spoken to a lot of guests. You have spoken to a lot of speakers who have participated on the global forum. Can you share with us, why do you think the people today trust these organizations and pass on the responsibility? What is the root cause? And also, can you share with us some of the thoughts that have got really inspired you, that you have discussed with the guests while preparing the international discussions? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, first of all, I wanted to add a couple of words about the forum itself. Because for me, the forum itself is like an eye-opening information, an amazing example of people who gather, their efforts together to bring the truth back to our society, to bring back, the truth and the power, and that everyone, every single person could believe on themselves again, because what can we see right now in our society, that the problem itself, that we just really give someone else our responsibility and think that someone will do something instead of us. This is what, in my opinion, same things happening with these organizations, because this is actually 2 points which I wanted to mention after watching this video. Because the first one, that the problem itself, that we put this responsibility to someone else. And we see on the screens that something is doing to deal with these issues, to deal with these problems, and we think that it's solved, but we don't really pay attention on it. We don't make any decisions, right? We just sometimes we can donate some money and think that someone will do it, because of course it's like a circle. We also have our job, families and stuff like this, so we have no time for that one. But at the same time, when we don't have time to think about it and really make these decisions to see if really with these people everything okay, if really it's working, where this money goes, and so on and so forth, that's why the system which exists, let us say, the economic system, the system this organization are working, and so on and so forth, it's, how to say that, it's not working in the benefit of every single human being, it's working on just benefit for some organizations or some group of people, and so on and so forth, or they don't know how to change it, many things can be here. And that's why I see as a way out. This is like what you said, Marek, before, that we need to take this responsibility back to people and start making these decisions, then we easily can do it. I mean, we as a society, as a people, in the cities, in the countries, if we have the big platform, we have the cell phones and so on and so forth, we can make these decisions. We can, we have this money and we can discuss together on the platform. Okay, where can this money goes to? Should we build the houses for these people? Because we donate this money. It's money from our pockets. It's money from the taxes, of people. And this is the first thing. And the second one, I really like the words of Ishak Adizes, who was the speaker at the forum, and he told about the organizations that we have thousands of organizations, and many of them even very good people, who are really want to help to others, and but the problem is that they all separate. And they don't have any kind of same goal. Like, they have a goal to help, but he even said something like that this, for example, organization is fighting for the women's right, this for the kids' right, and so on and so forth, for men's right, and so on and so forth. But the problem itself, that if all these organizations, if all these people, it's like millions of people all over the world, can join the effort, can unite, then these people are of a goodwill, right? So then it will be it will be in a good way, because what can they do all together? And of course, to have this common goal, and not only to fight with the consequences, but to really fight with the roots of it. And the roots itself, we all understand right now, this is consumeristic format of society. And that's why we really need to create a new model, create a society which can benefit for every single person. And that's what can we do really all together. No one, will come and do something for us, or even if someone will come and say okay, now let's build creative society, and everyone okay, let's do it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. We really need to, consciously understand and talk with each other how it can be looks like, and so on, creating this model in the practice. Start to think, okay, if education for everyone, how can we make it, and so on and so forth. It's just a small example. Maybe now I just go so far away. Maybe we can discuss this question a little later, but yeah, about the organization, these 2 points. The responsibility, take the responsibility back to people. Don't think that organization will solve the problems instead of us, and the unification of all these organizations and people themselves, all over the world. This is my opinion. Thank you very much.
Yes, Valeria, I absolutely agree with you, and thank you for bringing this up, because we know organizations consist of people working there, and many of those people go in there for a good reason. They really want to help. Those are good people, but it's the format of the society in which organizations are forced to fight for their survival, and everyone is fighting for survival in this consumerist model of living. That's why the model itself has to be changed, and for us not to fight separately for each one of us for our own little survival and benefit, but altogether to contribute for the common good. And that's the only way to switch it to the creative format where everyone is going to benefit. But also, I know for many people, information presented at the Global Forum became shocking. And I'm glad to have here with us Dražen from Croatia, and he was also participating in translation of the forum. So I would like to hear about that. But first, let me ask you about the information about funds. When you found out about that, what was your response? How did you feel?
Well, thank you for asking me these questions, because I was thinking about these organizations and about how this whole system was made together lots of time before I knew about creative society. This was pretty much good information for me to realize that in any public agency, they don't have in their own interest to solve any problems, because when they solve a problem, there is no more funding, no more agency, and their work is done. And the people today, especially like you said, Tali, in this format, are pretty much looking before themselves, their payroll, how to pay off their credit. And if you can find a job in this agency, it is the best that these problems last as long as possible. There is also, let's say, a league against the cancer that was established in the United States in 1971 to find a cure against the cancer. You probably know answer in advance. For 52 years, they didn't find anything, but the money is going every year, every day, every hour. So basically, we can say that any public agency is in conflict of self-interest, because they want to solve the problem, but it's not in their best interest to solve this problem. So basically, let's say that they are sitting on two chairs. Especially with the United Nations is a very different situation, because United Nations is not elected by anyone. A United Nations is so-called a private agency that has dominion over the whole globe about the business. And they do not respond to anybody, especially though they don't take any responsibility for anything that they do. So we cannot say that we take a responsibility and give it to them, because they wouldn't take it. Any agency, any government, let's say in Croatia where I live, if you ask them if they are responsible for low pensions for people who are going out to work, they will say, we are not responsible for that. But if you are not responsible, why do we need you? What's your purpose? You should be responsible, because the one who is responsible has the power. The one who is responsible has ability to respond. This means that. So the one that is responsible can solve the problems. So basically, people do not want to take responsibility because they cannot live, let's say, consumeristic lives. They have things to think about. They cannot watch football games, go to shopping, and something like this. But people don't understand that the one that has ability to respond, the one who solves the problems, that one has the power. So the biggest power is in responsibility. And if you gave it to some agency, that means that it is yours and yet you can take it back. And I hope, let's say, I don't hope, I'm sure that by the Creative Society, we are going to take it back, because it belongs to us, it empowers us. And this is the order that should be, that people are empowered and not the slaves like they are now.
Yes, thank you. This is great, and I fully agree what you have said, that at the end of the day, there are people who are employed in these organizations, and they strive to be employed there because there is this sort of certainty in the monthly income, because in consumer format of society, we all are dependent on the monthly income. And that's why, as Valerie said, we should be fighting not with the consequences, but with the causes. And so if we remove the cause as the consumer format of society and move to a creative one, where there's all the basic needs are secured by the society, and we people are not anymore dependent on the monthly income, then we can obviously change our mind and not support this, let's say, spending. And as we have said, the United Nations will spend 800 million on just refurbishing their let's say office. And so the point is that despite the hundreds of millions or billions being spent out, and what we can see the tents provided or the shelters provided for the refugees without any heating, without any cooling, and just bottled waters. We could, instead of that, if we get back the power, we could decide to use all of these technologies, because today we have got numerous technologies that are already available but are simply not being used. If we have seen in the conference that we have got 3D printing of houses, where a house can be printed in 24 hours. And just imagine, instead of building these shelters that cannot stand any storm or cold, we would provide everyone with such a printed house. We have got the technologies to produce water out of air or a fog. There are already these technologies being implemented, you know, and so we also have the technologies for 3D printing of organs. So instead of today, you know, there are also other problems that have been already mentioned in other international discussions. Instead of human trafficking, we could easily make use out of these technologies and produce, for example, a kidney for everyone who needs it. We also have vertical farms or hydroponic farms that consume 90% less water, 85% less soil, and can ensure anyone with sufficient amount of food, regardless of climate change. And so if we looking at all of these wonderful technologies, you know, we understand that this can be used for everyone. But first, we need to change the format of society. And so I would like to come back to Valerie. What is your picture of creative society?
Yeah, thank you so much for this question, because, you know, actually, again, come back to the question of bringing back the power to people. What is an interesting fact that we even don't know the law, I would say, and we don't know our rights. Because in every constitution of every single country, you can read the sentence like that the power belongs to people. So it's, of course, for now, it's just like on the paper, right? So like not in real life. But it's again like give us the understanding that we just even, you know, don't read our constitution. It's like it's already there. The only thing we can make it happen, and really, like, I mean, in a peaceful way, in a evolution way, you know, by talking with each other, you know, really make it like back to the reality, let's say. This is come back to that question about the power, bringing back power to people, and about the picture itself, the creative society, how it looks like, and the benefits of creative society. This is an amazing question, because, you know, like I understood just not so long time ago that really, we all of us, you know, participants of creative society, we talk so much with many people all over the world, and we really all the time just speaking about creative society. We do this international discussions, and this is amazing example, and the forums and the conference, the previous conference amazing example how people can act right now. And we're talking about the actions, right? But this is what I understood just not so long time ago, that not every single person have this understanding of the creative society. I mean, the picture in your mind, how it can looks like, and what's the benefit we personally can get. And this is what amazing thing to talk about with every everyone right now, because at the forum, we already seen and it was presented this amazing technology, which just now you show, but it's not all of them. We have amazing technologies which can save people's lives, like, because for now the climatic disasters are just growing. And, but at the same time, we really have many things, the technologies which can save people's lives, but we don't use it like all over the world. And, this is what we need to do, like we need to talk with each other, that this is benefit for us to use these technologies for everyone, to protect every single life, because the first foundation of creative society, it's a human life. And if you unite around the idea that we really want to live in a humane society where the human life is the highest value, when we protect every single life, and it's benefit to me, because if it's happens something with me, I know the society will protect me by the technologies, by the even the resources. Also, the resources in a creative society should belong to all people equally. It's also an amazing question, like, which I also asked myself when, like, what is the creative society and how it can look like, And you need just to come back to the 8 foundations of the creative society, to read all of them and understand, maybe read not one time, and really start to draw this picture in your mind, how it can looks like, the society of, of the security, of the freedom, of the amazing education for every single person. Just imagine if we will have the education which will be free for everyone, how much we will benefit from it. Because every single person, every single child, every single student, every single, grandma, if she wants to still study or something like this, she wants, this is the development of the society itself. If we will have it, all the society will have a benefit from it. Because, we are growing by this, because this is the amazing. And the medicine itself, if we will have high quality medicine for every single person, do I benefit from it? So much. Do all people benefit from it? So much. So this is what, I understand that we really need to think in this way now, because we'll still live in we still live in a consumer format of society, I just wish so much to have creative society soon. And, but okay, if we have this consumeristic way of thinking, but anyway, it's benefit for every single person. So even in this way of thinking, so we can get it. And by uniting our efforts, by talking, by really everything is possible from your side. You live in this country, so you can inform people so much in this country or city, or doesn't matter, And I could say that I'm so lucky that, I traveled all over the world, and I met many people all over the world, and in international discussions, I'm so lucky to communicate with people all over the world. And from my perspective and from my understanding, this is just amazing thing which you can understand when you will start to speak with people, when you will start this dialogue with all people and maybe don't know, when you start making your social media and you also talking about creative society, you ask people's opinion, how do they see it? And once you start to do it, then the understanding comes to your mind that we really all want it. So come on, we are almost 8 billion people on our earth. And if we all join our hands, if we all join our efforts, don't you think it's possible? It is possible 101 million%, you know. And I think that right now is the right time to do it. Before, we didn't have so much opportunities. We didn't have internet to communicate with each other. Imagine just now we can see each other by the phone, talk with each other, you know, and really changing the vector of our society, changing our history, you know. And from my side, it's just really so much inspiring to act as much as you can. And I just, you know, wish to pass this feeling to every single person so that you will understand how much it's amazing to meet people all over the world and understand how many amazing people are on this earth and how much we all want these changes. So, yeah, thank you so much. Hope I answered the question. So, yeah.
Thank you, Valeria. I think people definitely feeling this feeling and your message, and it really resonates because even from our experience, just speaking to people, we know that all people want to do the same, and really this world that everyone really wants and would love to live in, that wouldn't take that much. It's actually just some legal actions that should be taken by the society, and we have all the rights. We just have to, you know, voice what we actually want. Instead of fighting what we don't want, we can use the very same efforts, the very same power to actually make an electoral request and claim what we want, what's ours, what belongs to people, what should be people's benefits. And in this regard, I already know why you participate, but I would like to ask our dear guest from Croatia, Dražen, what makes you to spend so many hours, so many efforts participating in the Creative Society project, and specifically the translation? Because I know it takes a lot of time, a lot of efforts. It must be exhausting, but I guess you have more to say about it, as you felt it on your own skin, what it's like to translate such a big event into Croatian language. What was it like?
Well, thank you for asking this. Well, I was doing this firstly from my selfish reasons, because I want to know what is going on. And probably you understand that you better understand when you translate it to your own mother language. Yeah, I do understand English, but Croatian, when it is translated, it is the best. So in the first, I'm doing like this, but afterwards, I was so thrilled with this informations, with this new knowledge, and you probably know that you came to want to spread this information and to talk to other people, and it's just a wish and desire that comes from your inner self to help other people, whether they, especially if they don't know anything about this. So people didn't know anything about the Creative Society, and since I have lots of experience about the system, about the legal issues, about dealing with the state, about all of these things, because I have lots of people that, let's say, doing the things about how to get rid of the system. But all of these ideas are not so good. You cannot make it such an easy way. And everything that is said on paper that you have right, in reality, it's something different. So when I came to Creative Society, I understand how simple this idea is and how it is open, because you are not dealing with yourself only, or a couple of people, or some tribe, or some place, or some country. You are, in Creative Society, you are making the solution for everybody forever. And no other solution, no other movement, no other, I don't know, it doesn't matter how popular they are, doesn't have neither close the answers that have Creative Society. Because when we get to creative society, all the problems will be solved easily because we understand where is the problem. And lots of people doesn't know where is the problem. So when you don't know where is it, you cannot solve it. How are you going to solve something that you don't know? So people say that the problem is here, problem is there, problem is government, problem is the United Nations. Everybody is problem, everywhere is problem, but we are not the problem. And you know, the consciousness likes to put the finger into other guys, into other things, other agencies. So creative society is once and for all solution. And I want to be the part of this solution. This is solution, globally solution for every kind of a problem and once for all. So this inspired me because I am the father. I have 3 children. They are grown now, but I understand that as a father, as a parent, there is nothing more that I can left to my children, and not only to my children, but to every people, every human being, every man, every človek on this planet. So this inspires me the most because I understand the spiritual background of the creative society, and that we are doing much more than only society. And I understand it very well. And basically, that's not even the question now about the time, about how much job do you have to make about translations. The most times I spend on the videos and montaging the videos, and now we have lots of people that are translating, so I don't even translate anymore, doing some other stuff. But when you understand the creative society, there is no other way. You cannot go to anywhere else. And I'm very happy to be the participant of this movement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know what I understood now? That we have our future in our hands, really. And it is only about realizing it, that if we unite, there's no power to stop us from happening. We have been talking about the organizations, and what I've also realized is that in creative society, we do not want to stop or destroy anything that is working. And so even these organizations are basically based on us people, and depends on our choice what we will prefer. Either, as you correctly said, or Tali said, fighting against what we do not want, or support or claim what we want actually. And we can utilize everything, even these great organizations that are in place, as an instrument for coordination of activities. But what they will do depends on us people in creative society. And for us to get a better picture what creative society is about, I would like to invite you to see our following video.
The Creative Society. A society where human life is the highest value, where people respect each other. A safe world without wars or cataclysms. A society where people are confident about the future. Affordable food and housing for all. Work is for 4 days a week, 4 hours a day. Free education and health care. Economic stability. A world without inflation and crises. Available technology. solution of environmental problems. Would you like to live in such a society? It's not a utopia. It can be our future. A future that we can build together.
Wow, I'm super excited about this future. And the best part about it, that most of the technologies you've seen in this video, they're not some, fiction. It's already existing. It's technologies that we already have, but nobody's applying them on practice because it's simply financially not beneficial. Like, it's profitable to keep the system as it is. So it's only up to us, people, to create this demand. So I want to invite everyone to actually join the project and get to know more. If you're curious, if you think, wow, this might look cool, but let me find if it's real, just get to know it. Hop on a call with us and shoot us an email, and you could participate and feel on your own experience what it's like to participate. And in preparation of the forum of the next one, because it's all done by people themselves. So right now we are running out of time for this time. But before we part with you and our guests, let me just ask our participants of today's discussion to maybe say some final words, wishes, and messages to our viewers. And let me start with Valerie.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is an amazing thing which I wanted to share with everyone. First, about the creative society itself. That, I don't remember where I heard these words, but the question is that all the stuff which is going on right now on our planet, the economic things, all the system, let us say, how it works, it is not something stable, which is created like I don't know, like, let us say, by God or something like this. It's not like a sun, which is like we cannot change or something like this. Like, it's the things which we created. This system which we live right now, we did it. Yeah, I understand. And I know that, the system itself is working for 1,000 years. Yeah. And it's so long time take, for people to live in these conditions, and we born in these conditions, and it all the time goes by circles. So, but right now we have the only one and real chance to, kind of break the circle, or how to say that, just to really make a change and finally live like a people, like all people deserve. And this is just not inspiring that we're the people who can make it right now, And the second thing which I wanted to mention about the creative society itself, that as you said before, the creative society, it's nothing about to destroy something, some model and No. By building creative society, we create new conditions and new model of the society, which we all want, which we all agree with. It's, this way. And then only when we build something new, the old thing will just go away naturally, not by any destructions or something like this. And the last thing which I wanted to mention, that, in the preparation for this forum, I also participated in a team who made the short videos after other team took the interviews with the eyewitnesses of climate disasters. And while I montage all these videos and I listen to these people, listen once again, all the time from different parts of the world, and I realized that, what I can hear right now, that it's not only those people who are, had this, faced these disasters, but generally, we all think that in some country is better now, or somewhere else is better now, or the government better now, or the conditions better now. It's not true. It's false. I mean, like, because when you can hear the people all over the world who are sharing that, you know, they were not warned, they didn't have help, and so on and so forth. And people sharing from United States, from Indonesia, you know, from Europe, from different parts of the world, it's been something wrong everywhere. So, you know, as a conclusion, you can take that, you know, like everywhere is the same. So just stop thinking that somewhere else is good. It is not. And at the forum, this picture was really complete picture that for now we don't have any safe place to live, any safe, like, even, you know, like you cannot know about it, you know. So for us, it's time to act and stop, because when we think that somewhere else is better, why mention it? Because when you think this way, you don't think about solution. You think maybe I can move there because there is better, but it's not true. So for us, just we need to understand that really we need to make this change all over the world, and creative society for sure is the project for all humanity, for all the countries. Impossible to build it in some specific places. We're all connected. And the economy connected, the disasters all over the world, and so on and so forth. So we really need to realize it. And once we realize it, and at the same time we can see all these amazing benefits we can get, what stops us from the format of living like this? So for me, nothing. So, and this is what we really need to just understand. So as a message to all people, just please watch the forum, start to understand this information. You don't have to be scientists, you don't have to be specialists. You need to be just a human being to understand what's going on all over the world, and that we really need to change something. And start to spread this information. Spread what you personally understood. You don't have to spread what you don't understand. Spread the information you really understand. And then by that, if everyone will do like this, the whole world will talk about the creative society very soon. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. This is amazing and very inspirational. I would like to do it right now. And also, Dražen, some last words from you to our dear viewers.
Well, as you mentioned, I was participating in these conferences, especially in this last one as an interpreter. And this is very nice experience, excellent experience. What touches me the most there, it's not about the information. These informations are pretty much known. They are all over the place. You can find them. Also, the creative society is not such a young idea. The people always know how this perfect society should look like, and that's nothing new about this. But the thing that is much to me the most is the people. When you are doing this with 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, or I don't know how many people participate in this huge project, you feel this energy, you feel this symbiosis, you feel this synchronicity, like you are rowing in same direction, like you understand the people that are doing this, like you are connected with them in such other dimension than before. And you started to look those people as your real family, as the one that are doing everything for themselves and also for you. The creative society is a win-win situation. Win for me, win for everybody else. If it is good for me, it is good for everybody. If it is good for everybody, it is good for me. So there is no reason except laziness, and that's not a reason not to participate into this. So the people and this family that I'm always thinking about and talking about is this what is, let's say, pushing me to go forward, to connect to the, like say, to three of you that I don't know from before. I was just watching you on conference, on any other channels, but now I feel that I understand you much better, that I do know you. And for the last sentence, I just want to say that I love you all, guys, brother that are participants in the Creative Society. A hug to all of you, and especially the big hug for my family in Croatia and all the volunteers that are moving in this direction. And we are surely coming to the goal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dražen. This is really inspirational. Yes, to have kind of people who live in with the same ideas and same goals all over the world. It really feels like we're all connected, even though we're seeing each other for the first time. And what we're talking about here is the world of building trust between people, where all of us are connected and all of us are really living by the same values, because not so many things out there that can connect people, but the values, and everyone wants to do good, everyone wants to contribute to the society and live safely, live nicely, and really be a good human being. This is what moves people, and this is what this project is all about. And what we've seen today is this image of a beautiful future that can be our present, and our present in what we live in can be our past, in which we, look like on history classes, like how did people even live there in those medieval ages in the end of 20th century? Because it actually should be some kind of nightmare that only exists in the books about the terrible past. But today we can build a beautiful present. So let's do it all together, and let's start with spreading this information on your social media. This is the first and the foremost step that each one of us can do. Thank you so much.
Yes, and if you have watched the Global Forum and would like to participate in these international discussions, such as this one, please contact us at info@creativesociety.com. At the end of the day, the future will depend only on us. Creative Society, yes, it is the global platform that unites all the people in this one common goal. But how our future will look like, this depends on every single person of us, of you who is watching. Depends on experts in all of the fields. So please don't hesitate and join us. And I would also like to say that this forum is very important for all people, and the information seeds to be heard by all. And in order to build a better future, we must work on it. Sharing the forum is a good starting point for people to gain an understanding of the truth. But the best thing is not to postpone to tomorrow, but start sharing it right now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, our dear guests today. Thank you very much, Valerie. Thank you very much, Dražen. Thank you very much, dear viewers. And we are looking forward to see you in the other international discussions. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.